About the weather, you just a few spits, right? And everybody here at Cadwell says it's 4 seasons in one day here. Anything could happen, but if one man knows what will happen, it's the man for all seasons, Scotty Smart. Scott, what's going to happen here today?
Johnny G, you couldn't be more wrong. I haven't got a clue either. I've ridden around this place in all sorts of weather, from hails to rain to sunshine, and I'm hoping it's going to be sunshine. The bike's been really good throughout practice and qualifying in the dry. Now the bike isn't so good in the wet. We've got a few things. Well, we haven't had a chance to test some new ideas for the wet yet, so we've got no idea what it will do. But previous form is not so good for the wet. We want dry.
Yeah, wet or dry, it's a tough track physically, isn't it?
Yeah, really physical. To go quick round here is okay. To go really quick, you just end up having to expend so much energy. Through Hall Bends, which is just flick flaps, I'm using every bit of force that I have got, so it's going to be a case of pacing yourself to do the 18 laps.
There's a lot of feeling, obviously. Everybody's talking about Rutter, everybody's talking about Reynolds, but if you get the whole shot, it's going to be hard to catch you, and they would be unwise to mess with you today.
I guess so. I'm just going to do the best I can. We had a good setup at Mallory Park, but I didn't win the first one there, so I'm going to try not to repeat that. So we'll see. But you've got to remember, Kageyama, Reynolds, Rutter, they all want to win just as badly as I do.
Well, listen, best of luck to you.
Cheers.
So Scotty Smart on pole position, and well, he's just becoming a walking advert for next year. MotoGP, World Superbikes, anywhere he wants to go, really. But the other man who may be the spoiler, and you heard Keith mentioning it, is this man, Tommy Hill. Well, you maybe know that Richard Wren might be able to get the R6 Cup win, but he's got to follow in this man's footsteps on the front row, next to the championship leader. How about you being a spoiler today? You've got nothing to lose.
That's it, nothing to lose. You know, I've had a bit of disappointment in the last few rounds, but I'm just out there to get on the podium now. I'm trying that maybe a bit too hard. That's why I've been coming off lately, but it's, I'm knocking on the door, and that's what I want to do. I want to get on the podium, so fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll be there at the end of the race.
You had no idea how quick you were around here yesterday, did you, when you came out of qualifying?
No, I pulled in, and I was like, come on, boys, get the other second qualifier in, quick as you can. I completely messed up the lap, and that's what normally happens. You mess up the lap, before you've done, you've gone slower, but you pull back in, and for some reason I was second. I couldn't believe it.
You got your shoulder pads and you got your arm pads on, because I remember here last year you went for a real shoulder bashing and arm bashing.
Yeah, a bit too aggressive, a bit different in this league, I tell you that, but it's so hard to pass out there, but going to have to make a place to pass and get the elbows out again, but not as aggressive as last year.
Again, you could be the spoiler if you get the whole shot. Rob's been talking about how well you've been starting. If you can get ahead from this, there's every chance you could win here, because I reckon the championship contenders are going to be a little bit cautious today.
Yeah, that's right. As you say, I've got nothing to lose, all to gain. Get a good start. It's a tight track, and just get the elbows out and hopefully get the whole shot.
It's that time, isn't it?
That's it. Time for me.
Time for me. Time for Tommy Hill going up the mountain. Right, let's have a look. Here is the championship leader, and here is it Vicky? And I just got to tell you a quick story for a quick. Vicky is trying out for the first time as a grid girl. How's she getting on, John?
She did a fantastic job.
Vicky did a competition on Crash.net and won, and here she is, looking absolutely glorious. Talking of glorious, here he is, the man himself. You've got a very important day today. How do you see it?
A very important day, Jonathan. It's going to be a tough race. I just want to come out here and try and score as many points as we can.
Are you worried about the weather? Because it has been spitting a bit.
No, not really. I think hopefully it's going to stay dry.
All right. Feel confident?
Sorry?
Feel confident?
No, not overconfident. Just I'm ready for racing, that's all.
Ready for racing, that's what we want to hear. So, John Reynolds is ready on the front row. Scott Smart, though, starts.
Vision. Jonathan Palmer himself flew in the other day to check out that everything looked okay for British Superbikes. He now, even though he's a car man, has realised that British Superbike are a major earner as far as his company is concerned, and they really have pulled out all the stops. A new chicane, which you might have seen there, just a brief view of a moment ago, just to slow them down between Mansfield and the bottom of the mountain, and of course that's where Yukio Kageyama had those life-threatening injuries from this race meeting last year. We're under orders, the red light is on. Oh, they're held for a long time, and you can see Tommy Hill on the Emerald by number 8. He was just getting a bit of a roll around him, but it's Michael Rutter who gets a great start. And, oh, Scotty has been swamped there by the other Honda, Kianari, who's come through up in the 3rd place. And Kianari from row 2 has come through as well. Smart has gone back to 4th place. Reynolds is back there in 6th place now. He's just been done, looks like, by Dean Bam Bam Thomas on the Sendo Ducati. They're out of the double right-hander onto the back straight, onto the park straight. It's hardly as straight as you can see from that shot. What a brilliant view of Cadwell Park. This is Park Corner now. Well, Michael Rutter absolutely got it to perfection. Scott Smart up to 3rd place now. He just nipped under Tommy Hill, so Scott Smart has moved on the green Kawasaki in your picture there, up to 3rd place on the 88 bike, but 3 leads from 23. The 2 HM Plant Hondas of Rutter and Kianari at the gooseneck now. There is Reynolds. He's still back there in 6th place at the minute. That's not where he wants to be, that's for sure. Down Mansfield onto this new section now. Little right hand kick, and then the dead stop chicane back to 1st gear now. and that stops them, instead of being 4th gear on the rev limiter down into this part of the track, they're now 2nd gear on the rev limiter, and that is a lot slower entering this section of the course where Yukio Kageyama had such a big crash last year. Over the mountain for the first time on our opening race at the moment. I've hardly got time to breathe. Neil Mackenzie's been waiting to get in all through the lap, and that's just what it's like to ride round here at Cadwell Park. No time to breathe, nowhere to pass. You've got to force it up the inside. We're at the hairpin now, down towards Barn Court. A little modification at the hairpin, big modification at this section as well, just to try and make it a little bit better for the riders. Over the line for the first time then at the end of the opening lap of 18 it is Rutter from Kianari, from Smart, from Tommy Hill on bike number 8, the Virgin Mobile Yamaha man. That's how it looks at the moment. Then it's Dean Thomas in 5th place, 6th is John Reynolds, 7th is Hayden Kageyama is down in 8th place, Kieran Clark in 9th place, and Glenn Richards on the other Hawk Kawasaki in 10th. Neil.
Thank you, Keith. Dream start for Michael Rutter and a terrible first lap for John Reynolds. And of course, the other good thing for Michael Rutter is his teammate Rio Kianari in 2nd. He's been going well here. He only qualified 7th. Yeah, Tommy Hill down the inside of Scott Smart. Noticed that from the hoist there. Fantastic move for him, because Tommy normally would be sitting pretty much static in the first few laps, but he's making progress. He's got the confidence, qualified well here. He did his time apparently on race tires in qualifying, so that was very impressive. So he's obviously got a good race setup, but yeah, 3rd place there, right behind Kianari, Rutter's teammate.
I'd say that was a big shot for Yamaha, of course. They've expected a lot from Tommy Hill, but really he has delivered. And we wouldn't have expected local man Steve Plater to be vying for the position. James Hayden, perhaps the more experienced James Hayden. But no, it is Tommy Hill, the man who won the R6 Cup last year. There he is, number 8 in 3rd place at a minute. That is doing it brilliantly for the Virgin Mobile Yamaha team. Hospitality are going to be screaming when they come past them next time. Hospitality here is a long, long way from the paddock. They really do have to spread it all out here in the park that is Cadwell Park. Yukio Kageyama now right in the real tracks of Reynolds, his teammate, as they come out of the hairpin. Whoa, this is going to be a classic day of motorcycle racing as they exit Barn down the hill onto the start and finish straight. Reynolds lining himself up for a pass on Thomas at the end of this straight, as is Kianari on Rutter. He doesn't do it though as they go up the hill at Charlie's corner, through Compass and onto Charlie's. We're at Charlie's now. It's a double right-hander. It's blind, the second part of it. You can't see it at all. And then they drop down the hill onto the park straight. Look at Tommy Hill. How impressive is he?
Tommy Hill setting himself up for another pass into park, looking like he might get past Kianari. Not quite close enough in this lap. Kianari's doing a brilliant job there. Of course, HM Plant Honda have tested here a few times, but this is the first time Kianari has actually raced here.
Reynolds and Yukio Kageyama are now both past the Sendo Ducati man of Dean Thomas. So Dean Thomas goes back a couple of places. The Rizla Suzukis are hard to overcome. We're through the gooseneck now, dropping down the hill. It's quite a hill as well into the left-hander at Mansfield. Very difficult to get in there without running out wide. That's where James Hayden fell off this morning in warm-up. Then it's down to 1st gear from 2nd into this chicane. Not a bad chicane by all accounts, and it's slowed it all down along this straight now. They're not approaching it at something like 120 mile an hour. It's down to about 80 or 90 miles an hour, so just knocked the edge off that devastating corner there, up and over the mountain, trying to keep it. And Honda have got new chain adjusters. They've got like a gantry that holds the chain in place, like a motocross bike does, because of course last year Steve Plater, he didn't do the double here last year because he had a problem with that chain shaking from side to side. It leapt off the sprocket.
That was coming up over the mountain section, yeah, where the bikes jump there and land, the bike's trying to flex, everything gets all aligned, the chains tend to jump off, and unfortunately that was what happened to Steve Plater last year. Look at Reed, Kianari. You look down the inside of Rutter.
Every time Kianari. Well, I had a bet this weekend that Scott Smart would take one of the race wins and Yukio Kageyama would take the other one. I've had a bet with the circuit commentator Fred Clark, his eminence Fred Clark, of course, the man of the font of all knowledge, as Kianari looks at the inside of Rutter, but a bit too far back to be able to do that. In fact, I don't think that was a serious play at that particular bike. Reynolds stuffed it under Scott Smart. Well, what did he say in that interview I did with him at the beginning of the show? Push and shove. Well, you know me, I'll do it clean. There's Paul Denning, team owner of the Rizla Suzuki team. Well, let's have another look at it. That's classic stuff. He committed
from a long way back, and he came from a long way back. And JR said, if there's no gap, I won't make one, but he made a gap there.
Well, I've got to say, Scott must have been a little slack for him to be able to do it that far back. The Kawasaki man just a little early, perhaps, on the back. And that's unusual for Scott Smart, because there's one thing you do know about him. He's great in the braking area.
He really is very confident on that ZX-10 Kawasaki. But John Reynolds is making good progress here. Actually, his teammate is the man that set the fastest lap.
Well, Fred Clark, I was going to say, went with John Reynolds to win one today, and I can't remember who the other one was, but it doesn't really matter, does it, because they're not right there at the moment. James Ellison, the man back from the MotoGP on the WCM, He's back here in the Privateer Cup class today, and he's leading that at the moment. He's down in 13th place overall, but he's leading the Privateer.
Oh, John Reynolds wide there, pushed the front there, almost like he was in a gear too tall.
Don't want to do that there either, because you end up in the pond. There's a huge, great pond behind that barrier there. I know from my own experience.
Have you been in that pond?
I have been in that pond, paddling. You're a bad man.
Oh, John Reynolds! That was Reynolds!
Down. Oh, dear me, John Reynolds at Charlie's corner, steps off. That is Paul Denning who's made the announcement. Dear me, John Reynolds down at Charlie's. Drama indeed here at Cadwell Park. That has let Michael Rutter off. Remember, the points difference at the top of the table is 50. John Reynolds had that advantage. If Rutter wins this, it will be down to 25 with 5 more races to go. Drama at Cadwell. So Michael Rutter has made that mistake a couple of times this year. He fell off on Mondello, he fell off at Snetterton. Now it's JR's chance to do it all on his own. He fell off, I think, without interference from Kageyama. I'll give Kageyama the benefit then, but Kageyama was in close attendance. But
I'm sure John had that moment at Barn where he pushed the front, ran a little bit wide. I'm sure he was keen to get that time back. Maybe he was having a problem with the front end of the bike. I know in practice he definitely wasn't 100% happy with the front end. He was pushing a little bit.
I've thought for a couple of weeks that this whole championship is about destabilising the other man. It's really about who is going to keep their cool in the height of this battle. John Reynolds. Oh, and again, I'll tell you what, that was Yukio out a bit wide there. It looked to me too. I just thought it was about who could be destabilised. Rutter, I think he's had his problems during this year. Having said that, so's JR with a big crash at Thruxton, of course. I don't know what to say. I think JR really... Tyre compounds, we talked about it earlier on in the programme. I mean, what's he gone for?
Well, the front is 587 is the number, which means very little, but it's a tyre he's used and won a lot of races on this year and been very happy with in practice. And I'm sure there was no problem from the front Dunlop tyre, but maybe it's a fine line between staying on and getting through the corners here and landing in the grass. So GR just maybe pushed a little bit hard and approached the Charlies there and tucked the front and down he went. That's what it takes.
This for me is one of the best racetracks anywhere in the world. It's narrow. The problem is with it, and the only problem is with it is a little bit dangerous. The barriers are a bit close here and there. They've addressed it for the first time this year, of course. I said about Jonathan Palmer and his crew at Motorvision doing a great job here at Cadwell. They've got more work to do just yet, but you've got to say, Cadwell Park provides us with fantastic racing and a real challenge for these riders on a short circuit. You get nothing like this anywhere else, with the exception maybe of Laguna Seca.
Tommy Hill had a big wobble over the mountain there. You saw him behind Kageyama coming up over the mountain.
He's under pressure, of course, from Kageyama. Kageyama, of course, has come from a long way back. He really muffed the start, and now Kageyama sits right in behind Tommy Hill. Kageyama could still take it to those 2 Hondas at the front. Plenty of time left. We're only 1/3 distance.
He certainly could. And like Kianari, this is the first time he raced here, because of course his serious accident was in the morning warm-up last year, so he didn't actually make the race, but there he is quite comfortably underneath Tommy Hill. And
I'll tell you what, at Coppice, that is a real breathe-in type of job. You're coming off of a real fast straight, some 160, 70 miles an hour into that left-hander, and he's deep breath when you go in there quick.
He's certainly looking comfortable, and he's just watching and learning like he did a lot last year when he first raced at all the racetracks in the UK. Coming from Japan. Smarty down the inside, Tommy Hill.
Tommy Hill, well, he took too much of a breather at that one as well, didn't he? And now Scott Smart's come under, so the experience perhaps telling just a fraction here at Cadwell Park at the moment. So Smart took the opportunity to follow Kageyama through.
That's okay.
Kageyama, look at the rate he's closing on the 2 HM Plant Hondas, though.
Yeah, his fastest lap on lap 6, 129.201.
Yeah, I wonder what the lap record is. I'm going to check that in a minute.
Of course, the track's changed.
Of course, yes, you're right.
It's roughly a couple of seconds slower.
Ewan gets a slap from Mackenzie. Quite rightly too. Bottom of the mountain then, the 2 HM Plant Hondas, whatever they do, it'll be a new lap record today. Up over the mountain, Kageyama closing right in. Fred Clark, get your money ready is all I can say.
Kageyama
there over the curve, and he's out wide, and that'll give Smarty the momentum down to the hairpin. Can he stuff it under Kageyama? Yes, he can, at the bottom gear hairpin. Kageyama almost runs his wheel into the back of Scott Smart. Scott Smart, ever the opportunist. I tell you what, Scott Smart is at that dangerous age. He's got skill, and he's just the mature side of youth now, and that is a really good age to be. Straight back there, Kageyama. The Suzuki has got so much grunt along that straight.
It has got some grunt. It's got good mid-range and good top-end power, and Kageyama a little bit unsettled for that. moment he had through Hall Bends, but Scott Smart, like you said, he sees half a gap when he takes it, and that's what he's good at. He's good at tight twisty sections, and that's where that ZX10 Kawasaki seems to work.
Okay, what about Kianari and Rutter? Team orders maybe, because Kianari has not put that pass on Rutter, and he's certainly been giving him a hard time back at Mallory Park. Let's take another look at this. Well, the mistake had already been made.
Look how close the front wheel gets to Scott Smart's rear wheel.
Indeed, and now look how close Kageyama just powers out of the slipstream. In fact, he didn't hardly even use the slipstream. 170 miles an hour back into Cottage Corner up the hill. We're back with them now as they come down the hill from into Mansfield Corner, up to second gear, into first gear for the chicane, and they're closing in on the two Hondas now. These three, Tommy Hill on the back, still on bike number 8, the Virgin Mobile bike on the back of the Hawk Kawasaki.
Well, Tommy Hill just doing a brilliant job there. He's a spectator, but he's just sitting, watching, learning. And Kageyama and Scott Smart having a few moments there, and Tommy Hill gaining a bit of time.
Oh, down goes number 56, straight on his ear. That's James Buckingham, and he was second to James Ellison. He was having a right old battle with James Ellison in the Privateer Cup. They were just, you can see, oh dear me, oh dear me.
Nasty.
Right in front of Sean Emmett as well. Was that Sean? Yeah, what's Sean Emmett?
Yeah, Sean Emmett.
What's Sean Emmett doing down there? It's the only time we're going to see Sean Emmett on the Monster Mob Ducati. That was a bit of an egg beater, that was, wasn't it, on the Key Suzuki? So a real problem for the Key Gary Suzuki man, James Buckingham. He's had some good rides this year as well, James. That's a great shame for him, and he was taking it to James Ellison in the Superbike Cup Championship today at Cadwell. So that's the Privateers, and here we are with the two worked HM Plant Hondas, fresh with their new French rubber on the front. I said to Harvey Beltran, team coordinator for Honda, I said, what's all that about, their new tyres arriving in the French car? He said, no, he said, it's the technicians, they take the tyres home and sleep with them because they're so good, they don't... I think he was kidding, but then again...
Bit of overnight loving for the tyres.
Maybe that's what makes them stick. Anyway, Mansfield Corner.
Well, there, Kianari had a bit of a bobble.
Yes, he did.
He's doing a good job to be bolted onto the back of Michael Rutter there, but as you said,
he's just been good all year when he came back after that endurance race in Japan. I've said it before, I don't think it was the same Kianari. He even looked different.
Well, he certainly,
maybe they got
he was so strong and looked so good, and then he went through that period after he got hurt at Alton Park, but then when he went back to Japan, returned to the UK, he was back to his old self.
He spent every spare day he's got up here at Cadwell Park, wandering around with Neil Tuxworth, the team manager, having a good old look at it, of course, because they're based only 7 miles down the road here at Louth. And really, Kianari knows Cadwell Park very, very well. Maybe not from a racing point of view, but he's learning his craft very well behind Michael Rutter. Michael Rutter, well, I said in the last commentary at Croft, he loves this place. Perhaps I was a little over-enthusiastic there. He has great results here, but he's not a great lover of Cadwell Park.
Well, I think he's riding this race perfectly. He got away at the front there, and I expected him really to go, but he's really sitting in front and controlling it at the moment. Although saying that, Kageyama took 6/10 of a second out of them in that last lap. He's regrouped, he's settled down, and he's on the charge again.
Well, we've been told by Honda there are no team orders, but I have to say I don't believe them, and we'll wait until the end of this. I've heard Honda are wonderful at the politically correct words. Of course, nobody wants to hear the words team orders, least of all the spectators and the fans that want this to be a genuine shootout between these two. We'll wait and see if Kianari puts a pass. I would suggest that a man of Kianari's status behind Michael Rutter, and this close behind Michael Rutter, if he doesn't make a pass somewhere towards the end of this race, if he's this close to him, then it's because he's been instructed not to. I don't believe a rider of his calibre on this track will not make a pass if it's there for him.
I would say you're dead right, because he is comfortable. He's easily going with Michael Rutter. Yeah. But if everybody did pass them, that takes 5 points away from Michael Rutter, and they can't afford to lose the championship by a few points.
Well, the big job, of course, is keeping the man behind him, Kageyama, on the Rizzler Suzuki behind. He's got to keep him in third place if he can. Now then, while these boys come down out of barn corner, down onto the start and finish grid, we can look down on the start and finish grid and we can see Jonathan. Are there any team orders down there for Honda?
Let's find out. I don't want to drag him away from the race, but we're all asking the question, are there any team orders?
No, none whatsoever. I can swear on my life. There's no team orders. If Keogh can win the race, he's more than welcome to.
But he's going to take 5 points off Michael.
Yeah, we're here for racing. If Michael wants to win the championship, he's got to beat people out there, including his teammate.
It's good to hear. All right, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. And I am really pleased to hear that, because I hate team orders. I mean, they are crucial towards the end of a season, of course, and in these circumstances, Honda have everything to gain by team orders coming into play. I'm a little surprised, I've got to say. I mean, I would have thought that you might even have to get clearance from that particular comment from Japan to say there are absolutely, on his life, no team orders.
Well, I know Paul Denning certainly hasn't giving team orders to John Reynolds and Kageyama, but he has mentioned that they're trying to win a championship here and leaving it up to the riders' own discretion. So he may well have had that conversation with Kianari, who knows.
Good clean fight there between the HM Plant Honda boys. The only thing that's ruled out is crashing into each other. It's going to be interesting as this closes down. Lap 11 of 18 we are. A little bit of a wheelie there from Yukio Kageyama, and that's the corner that he done so much damage to himself last year. Life-threatening injuries. He is, well, I'll tell you what, he's my man of the season since he came back, Yukio Kageyama. Nobody have I seen so determined to win races as that man. When he got here off the plane at the beginning of this year, remember, ladies and gentlemen, he couldn't even walk properly. He was still a cripple.
We went to the first test in Valencia, and it really was walk 100 yards through the airport, give him a bit of a rest, give him a seat, and then jumped on the bike in Valencia and actually looked half reasonable. But he said riding the bike's not easier than walking around at the moment.
Still Michael Rada, bike number 3 that leads from 23. His teammate Ryoichi Kianari on the HM Plant Hondas. They are out front at the moment. Oh, we've got a bit more
looks like
parking.
Was that Steve Brogan there?
It may well have been Baywatch parked up there in the sun. It's the kind of weather that he'd lay out in, isn't it, really? Yukio Kageyama closing in, Steve Brogan indeed. Damn good spot, Mackenzie. The old eyes aren't failing at your age, are they? Sorry about that, you're not going to speak to me now, are you?
Kageyama is closer.
Yes, Kageyama. Look at the huge crowd here, the huge amount of bikes there. That's where all the hospitality is for all of the teams over there looking out on Chris Kerr. Uh-oh. Well, why is this happening, I wonder? Scott Smart is in for a new rear tyre. Well, Paula, his sister there to the right. Now they're putting a new rear end in that bike. Of course, they had the chain hooked to the swinging arm. That's normal as they take the bike wheel in and out. But I do not understand what's happened there, Neil.
Very strange, and yeah, it must have been on the last lap. We just lost him there, but he's gone back out. Obviously, a bit of useful testing. But
well,
really
Jonathan, I'm sure Jonathan Green will be down there to try and find out the very latest, and we'll bring it to you live here on Sky Sports, of course. Through Hall Bends we go again. They modified that section of the track as well, so it's easier, well, not easier to fall off, but safer if you do. Now we're at the hairpin. Big modifications there. There used to be no run-off at all at that particular section, and it was also one of the favourite last cars passing places, of course, at that hairpin. So watch out for that on the last lap here. Yukio Kageyama in third place, bike 71. There is a Suzuki. Out comes Scott Smart along with them. He'll now tag in behind them. Won't do him any good. He's a lap down at least, and it's a long way around Cadwell Park to make that up. So I think he's doing a bit of bike testing now, Neil.
Kageyama on the rear of the Suzuki, he's done the hard work, he's closed that gap, he set another fastest lap on lap 9, so he has got the pace, but now he has to look at where he can get past
Chris Platt is also down, number 97, Chris Platt on the BMR Kawasaki at Charlie's, but he's perfectly okay as well if you were looking out for him at home. Chris Platt is down, but not out. We'll see him in the second race today, another one of the privateers. Well, we're at Chris Curve now as we come down towards the gooseneck. Let's find out what's happened in Hawk Kawasaki with Jonathan.
Yeah, I've got Stuart here, team manager. What happened?
Just landed a little bit crossed up on the mountain there, and because it just flicks the chain off then. Because the chain is on full bump and it just flicks on top of the sprocket, so...
Could have happened to anybody, yeah?
For sure, yeah. Maybe somebody in front.
Yeah, really annoying though, but obviously back for race 2.
Yeah. Well, we'll pick a few points up here and keep plugging away.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Jonathan. Well, the thing that amazes me as far as that's concerned, Neil, is only Honda appear to have done anything about that chain problem. Just to reiterate, as they come over here, watch them jump now. As they jump over there, if the bike lands a bit skew whip, it shakes it from side to side. And when the suspension is extended, Rutter makes a mistake. The fact of the matter is, it shakes the chain over the edge of the sprocket when the suspension is extended. And that happened last year, of course, with Steve Plater costing him a race win. And now we've got Scott Smart, who's right out of it. He's a lap behind, of course. Now then, Rutter. A little bit of a mistake there at the top of the Hall Bend section, and it'll be interesting to see just what kind of a limit he's on. Ryoichi Kianari looking for the inside at Coppice, but I don't think that was a real move just yet. It's got to be a brave and decisive move there if you're going to do it.
I'll tell you what, we know that Rizzler Suzuki's fast. We know Kageyama gets out of the last corner on to start finish good, but these Hondas took some time out. They're fast. Watch them down the straight as well. They had a bit of additional horsepower for this weekend. They really are pulling away in the fast sections.
Tell you what, Kianari, he's waiting, isn't he? It's a waiting game. He looked then like he was perfectly placed in the slipstream. He's running at the rear end of Michael Rutter. He pulled out a little slipstream a little bit, rolled it a bit, and dropped back in behind him for Park Corner.
It seemed Kianari with a big sideways moment there. Yeah, he's obviously trying hard. He knows he has to stay with Michael Rutter because Kageyama's right in his back wheel now, and Kageyama take no prisoners.
Yeah, the thing about Yukio Kageyama is, you know, and you said the phrase, takes no prisoners, and he really won't, will he? He'll go to the front, push, barge, shove. Well, he is a man that, well, some don't like, I have to say, in qualifying, because he's so crafty. He's a real sneaky devil when it comes to qualifying. Waits until somebody goes out, drops in behind them. If he's out on the track, he messes up everyone else's faster lines. towards the end of his session when he's coming in on spent tyres. Yukio Kageyama uses every bit of racecraft that he can, all the way through practice, qualifying and the race itself. And I think, well, he's to the shoulder of these two. He's definitely going to force a pass on them.
Well, everyone has a different strategy in practice and in the races. Kageyama trying to get a good drive out here. He's not quite close enough to do anything.
Looks to me like he's spinning up more than the two Hondas, and that's why he's not getting the drive out of barn down onto that front straight.
Yeah, he's certainly losing a bit of time coming out of barn down that hill.
He makes it all back up at Coppice though on the run-in on the front end.
Well, this is where Kageyama loses out to Rutter. Michael Rutter seems quicker through this section of the racetrack.
It is the brave section though, isn't it? That over that hill, it's a double right-hander, blind that second one is as you come through it. Very difficult indeed.
As JR found out to his
cost. If you were wondering where John Reynolds is, if you've just tuned in, he crashed at Charlie's in the early part of this race. Didn't make the best of starts, got a little mistake through Hall Bends, and that was compounded with a big off. That's Steve Brogan that's parked there with John Reynolds just the other side of him. You can just see JR. So Steve Baywatch Brogan has parked himself there as well.
Just behind Kageyama there, a bit of a reshuffle as far as the Yamahas are concerned. We've got James Hayden in 4th, Steve Plater in 5th, and Tommy Hill's now back in 6th, Dean Thomas in 7th. Glenn Richards, Scott Smart's teammate, making a comeback this weekend. He's there in 8th position.
And young John Kirkham, the best of the privateers now, got the better of James Ellison. So John Kirkham, who looked so stylish at Crop, but has beaten up so badly at Crop, he's come through here at Cadwell Park on bike 16 to 13th place overall, but he leads the Superbike Cup, which is for the privateers. And they're only a little bit off the pace of the full works boys nowadays. That's the standard of privateers in Superbike racing here in Britain.
Now I wonder where Kageyama.
Oh, and again, sideways on. He just cannot get that power on. He asked for it. As soon as he taps it in, it just spins up at the rear end and he loses that momentum all the way down this 170 mile an hour straight. But this is where he's so brave. Look at he runs in Coppice and he's right with them again by the time they get to the first part of Charlie's.
Well, that was side grip as well, because he came back to the throttle there at the part of the corner where he's leaned over the most, and you could see that black line that just lit up while the bike was on the side far less before he got it.
Red flag. Red flag. That'll be a race then, I think. That'll be a race result at lap 16 and of 18. So that is it. It will be Rutter, Kianari and Yanagawa. That's a Plater down. Steve Plater, that is for sure. One of the Virgin Mobile Yamaha men. Well, Plater was up there and now he's down there. So Steve Plater has been knocked, fortunately not unconscious. But Michael Rutter will be very happy for that let-off, because Kianari has been thwarted by the fact the red flag has come out sooner. I really did feel that Kianari was setting himself up for a pass on Rutter. Well, sometimes you need a little bit of good luck, and I feel Michael Rutter there has, well, he's got it 5 points, and he was, oh, dear me, yeah, that's a Hall, isn't it? Hall Bends. They've modified it, so you've got a bit more room there now. The tyre barrier, thankfully, is a lot further back. There used to be a bridge just there that you used to crash into a few years ago. They took that out, of course, and they've made some more modifications here this year as well. So Michael Rutter will be declared the winner from Ryoichi Kianari and Yukio Kageyama. Hayden is the best of the Yamahas in 4th place from Hill, and Dean Thomas on the Sendo Ducati in 6th place.